Hey everyone, this is Loomis, and I'm back with another Langrisser mobile video. So one of the things that I like to do on stream sometimes is take a look at the Mercenaries, chat with the people in my stream chat, and talk about which ones are good or not. Now, if you don't know, in Apex Arena, there are 10 Mercenaries every week that you can choose from to supplement your team. Now, for me, I have 15 units that I can actually box, but for a lot of players, they don't necessarily have 15 quality PvP units. So that's where the Mercenaries come in. They are players that are available to everybody to put in your box to hopefully enhance your team. Now, most weeks, there's only maybe one, sometimes two Mercenaries that are good enough to consider fielding for most players. Now, this week in particular, there's actually four, in my opinion, that I would say, depending on who's in your box and depending on how good your units are, you might want to consider fielding these units. But I'm going to go over all 10 anyways. So we will start here with the Mercenary Bozel. Now, this Bozel is fairly strong. He's coming in at about 200 and just under 560 magic defense, which is a pretty solid number. He has the speed boots. He has a very normal Bozel setup. He has the max magic defense enchant on the weapon. He has a max on the Soul Stealer. So, this is actually a pretty strong Bozel. Now, he doesn't have summon, but he's been double ruined, and if your Bozel is not as strong as this one, you should absolutely use it. This is a pretty good Bozel, and for a lot of players who don't have a built Bozel, it'll be a very good addition to the box. Now, I should also note that he's 5 stars, so his talent will proc 80% of the time, not 100. My Bozel is only 5 star. The 80%, it's you don't really notice it. A 5-star Bozel will perform very well. So I would rate this Bozel as usable. Now we have a 6-star Landy here, with it has an Overlord badge. I wouldn't call any of the rest of these best in slot items. And it also, for whatever reason, this guy's included a full moon enchant on Landius. So he's going to have more attack than a normal Landius, sacrificing HP though. But even still, this is a very strong Landius. If you don't have a Landius in your box, or if you don't have a Landius quite this strong, this is a no-brainer to bring. It will be actually quite interesting this week, because there's a number of players who they might not have a properly built Landius, and this will help you a lot with climbing. So if you want to do some climbing this week in Apex, this Landius should actually help you a lot, especially if you're in the silver levels. Now, that being said, your opponents can also pick this Landius, so it's a little bit of a double-edged sword, but it's extraordinarily helpful for players who don't have that Landius. So he also rates as a use. Now, this Leon is fairly strong. He has he has 800 and almost 880 attack, which is very high. I think a lot of top-end Leons are going to be pushing over 900. Mine personally hits 928 pre-battle, but a high 800s number is pretty strong. He is running Last Night, which is a little bit It does have the max attack enchant on it. Now, Last Night is definitely not Leon's best weapon, but it's not a bad weapon by any means. He has Rusty on him. The rest are all best in slot. He has double ruined his Leon. This is a very strong Leon. Again, if you do not have a Leon that hits this attack number, replace this Leon in your box with him. I would also rate this Leon as a use. Now, this Matthew, it has the Pro Tag buff, it has Sprint, it flies. It has a number of options. It's just not very strong. I would say that its best purpose is potentially ban bait. If you have a Pro Tag heavy box, it might be that's about all I can say about this Matthew. He's just not particularly strong, and I would not necessarily recommend using him unless you have a less than 15-man box personally, and it's very Pro Tag heavy. Now, this Sherry has some really weird choices on it. No idea why it has drop near. Yeah, it's just not very strong. This attack number just is a little bit over 700. That's pretty weak, especially for a Sherry. I would not use this Sherry unless for whatever reason you have a Sherry that's weaker than this. Sherry already is not a strong PvP unit, and this one is pretty underwhelming. It is at 6-star. It has a 2-turn cooldown, so that is one thing positive about it, but it's not a very strong Sherry. I would not recommend using it. This Leticia, I don't know what's up with this equipment. It just looks like this player has slapped on some random stuff on her. I don't think it's very strong, and I don't think a lot of players have the right box necessarily to take advantage of a Leticia. So, you know, unless you have a very specific strategy and for whatever reason you don't have a good Leticia, I guess you could use it for that, but I would not rate her as a use. This Tiaris is actually pretty strong. I'm not sure why they have True Cross, I guess, for the healing effects. But it can get silenced, which is going to be a problem. It does have an Alvars, which, in my opinion, is a little bit lower tier than Left Hand, because Left Hand can proc 100% of the time, and I think that Moby Down, if you're attacking with your healer for whatever reason, Moby Down from a healer is much better than increasing enemy damage taken. So, but, you know, Alvar is not a bad staff per se. Decent stats, you know, we're coming over 600 intelligence here. I'd actually say this TRS is usable, and I would not surprise me if it's stronger than a number of other players. I would note that it has not been ruined at all, so it does not have mass resist if that's something that you like to use. And the important part is that it is 6-star, so Healing Light will proc 100% of the time. So if you have a TRS that's weaker than this, or you don't have 4 healers, or you don't have a TRS, I'd actually rate her as a usable. Now we have Sophia. Now this Sophia does have the Goddess Left Hand. It has a Crystal Ball. It can't be silenced. The stats are okay. I'll actually take back my previous comment. I think there's 5 usable units. This is another one. It does not have runes on her, so just, you know, beware. But, you know, if you do need a 4th healer, you could do worse than this. So I would rate this as a usable as well. Not good, but definitely usable. Now we have this Narm here. It's with Ullers, and I don't know why it has 2 red, 2 crystal. This Narm, it's just not very good. Flat out, under 600 attack. I would not use this Narm whatsoever. And then lastly, we have an Imelda. Now, it has decent equipment. Full Moon, for whatever reason, it does not have any runes on her, and it does not have Gorgeous Red. So I would not recommend using this Imelda, because Imelda in PvP, her biggest purpose is giving the fixed damage immunity and the through her unique item, and the damage boost through her talent. And, you know, she is at 6-star. She has the 20% damage boost, but you are going to be taking the 10% hit because you don't have the fixed damage protection from her unique helmet. So I would not call this Imelda a use. So I would skip her entirely. So to review all the units, I would say that the Bozal and the Landius are really good, and that, you know, I would, for a lot of players, actually strongly consider using them, especially because for a number of people, they're probably going to be stronger than your Bozal or Landius if you have one. I would rate the Leon and Tiaris as above average, and I would rate the Sophia as usable. Actually, I'll take that back. The Tiaris is above average, and I would say the Leon and the Sophia are usable. So, you know, for this week, if you're looking to climb Apex, there's actually some pretty strong mercenaries if you have an incomplete box. So, you know, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. As always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. And as always, if there are any videos that you would like to see, please let me know in the comments below. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you again later. Bye-bye.